So, I don't really know. I don't know. That's my opening gambit here. This is a best of 3, and this is the first game, but it's the third that I've casted. In my defense, the replays are labeled really weirdly. They're called they're all called Game 1. So this is SpaceLobster for probably some introductions or something. It's Extra MS, which is CrimsonTide, of course, versus SpaceLobster, and it's TVT, and yeah, it's going too fast now. I can't cope. Extra MS opening with Double Reaper, and Double Reaper's great if it's in your opponent's base. It's less good parked at home. So finally these reaps are going to go across the map to do some reaping. I'd love if the reapers carried little scythes, so I would enjoy that, and actually just reaped the SCVs. It'd be great. So they're going to come in, they're going to get 1, 2, 3 kills. Did I count? 3 kills. 3 SCV kills, which is not bad, and most importantly, they are alive. That's the most important thing when you go reaping. Keep the Reaper alive. Do yourself a favor. Keep the Reaper alive. I'd rather have an alive Reaper and no SCV kills than 1 SCV kill and a dead Reaper. So don't sacrifice the Reaper for 1 more kill. If you can avoid it, do try and keep the Reapers alive, because they're so useful for coming back in and scouting. So Reapers do go down, but 4 workers killed, and yeah, I'd probably take that. I'd probably take that. 4 dead workers. Now, with that said, Extra MS's macro, unfortunately, hasn't been on point, and therefore they don't have a worker advantage. So despite killing 4 of their opponent's workers, they're still behind on workers, which is awkward because they're also behind on army. And that is very much the downside to going reaping. Reaping is quite micro intensive. Reaping is great if you're Bjorn and your APM's about 600 or 700. You can spare 200 APM just for micro and a Reaper all day long. You can spare that. That's fantastic. If you're playing in the EMS league and your APM is like 30, 50, you can't really spare the APM. So often the Reaper does more damage to you than it does to your opponent, even when you get some worker kills. Your macro is so far behind. And look, no workers being built from either command center right now. No workers being built. Just 35 workers, that'll do me. Other side of the map, to be fair, workers in production. But yeah, I don't know. Seems like not that many workers to be stopping. So, as always, the standard advice, bear in mind, if you find, look, these are idle. All of these buildings are idle. You know what I mean? That's why you're not spending your money. You're not building anything. Just like what's in production here? What building? A couple of workers. Any units? 1 medevac. 1 medevac. You know what I mean? You got to spend that money. This medevac's got a thing in it. What's in it? Who's in? A lone marine. He's just going to look at all his buddies in the fight. So let's see who gets sieged up and who gets the better end of this engage. SpaceLobster's got way more stuff. So like way more stuff. So he's just going to charge on bottom of the ramp. His siege tanks aren't even in this fight. The marine in the medevac unfortunately dies in the medevac. So he did not have the best war, that guy. He didn't even, he first watched his buddies die and then just got blown up in a medevac. That is bad times. This poor medevac is in the pipe 5x5 and is actually going to make it home. It flies away. So, does SpaceLobster have enough to break this? The short answer is yes. It's a resounding yes. So, it's going to push up the ramp. Finally, siege is up. To be honest, I'm not sure I would have bothered that late. Because actually, all your tanks are just doing splash damage to your own marines. So, yeah, but it just doesn't matter. There's nothing here that can defend him. So SpaceLobster's just going to continue this push and win by the looks of things. And he's going to take this third game that I've casted, the first game that was played, presumably in, yeah, a reasonably convincing fashion, has to be said.